Why are the Egyptian and Sumerian gods depicted with animal heads? Greetings, mortals. Capital day to you all. I'm your host Simon. Welcome back to the Library of Gnosis. So, why did the ancient gods have animal heads? Well, to answer this, we first have to understand the ancient people who made these images. The ancients spoke in symbols. Almost everything they created was symbolic in nature, in one way or another. Thoth is the god of wisdom, and is most often portrayed as a human with the head of an ibis. Thoth's Egyptian name was Bitchute, which means he who is like the ibis. The ibis was a sacred bird in ancient Egypt, and was associated with wisdom, so we can see why the Egyptians choose to represent Thoth with an ibis head. One who digs deep into the unknown to bring forth that which is within into the light. Horus is another prime example. He is depicted with the head of a falcon and was a god of kingship and the sky. Scholars point to the symbolic and expressive strength of the Horus falcon, hovering in the sky, stretching out his wings widely and seemingly looking over all of Egypt. This heraldic animal represents omnipresence and an outstretching power. It seems quite obvious that a falcon would be chosen as the symbolic animal to represent a god of the sky, as the falcon have one of the best eyesights in the animal world. Ever heard of the expression eyes like a hawk? Well, studies show that a falcon's vision is about 8 times better than that of a human. The famous Eye of Horus. The same motif is mirrored in the Sumerian carvings of their gods. In this case, Enlil, who is often represented with an eagle's head. Eagles, of course, also have great vision and the ability of flight. They have come to represent power and an omnipresent overview on the battlefield. Romans even used to carry a banner with an eagle on it into battle, called an aquilia. Enlil being represented by an eagle makes sense, as he was associated with wind, air and storms, and was also king of the gods in ancient Mesopotamian mythology. Then we have Nisida, who is often depicted with a serpent's head, and whose name translates to Lord of the Good Tree. Serpents often represent wisdom and healing. Go watch my video on the Tree of Life and the serpents to learn more. Moving on, we have the god of death, Anubis. Our furry friend is depicted with the head of a jackal. The association of jackals with death and funerals likely arose because Egyptians would have observed jackals scavenging around cemeteries. Sekhmet, the goddess of ferocious war, was sometimes shown with the head of a lion, as lions are ferocious creatures. Sobek, god of pharaonic power and protection from the Nile. Head of a crocodile, body of a man, is quite obvious. Both the Greek, Sumerian and Egyptian gods were shapeshifters, possessing the ability of therianthropy, the ability of being able to shift between a human and an animal form. Stories of, for instance, Horus shifting into a falcon and Zeus transforming into a swan. Another reason why these beings are so often depicted with animal characteristics. In Old Egypt, their gods were actually most often represented in their pure animal form. It bothered me that people actually think these gods had animal heads, so I made this brief video. Hopefully this cleared it up. What animal would represent you? Leave it down in the comment section. Thank you for listening. See you next time, mortal. Remember to hit that bell button to stay notified. Subscribe for more Red Pill content. Do give it a like if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share it. If you want to support my work, you can find me on Patreon at Library of Gnosis. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Bitchute at Library of Gnosis. The audio versions of my broadcasts are available on Spotify as a podcast at Library of Gnosis. Music is produced by Coda.